Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. It's glad to be back. I hope everyone is doing well. This reading will be about Selena Gomez. So it's interesting for the simple fact that a lot of readers have done readings regarding Selena Gomez and how she feels about Justin Bieber and all of that. So that's what I'm going to be looking into. But before I get into the whole situation with her and Justin and Haley, I'm going to be looking into her mundane, everyday life just to get a perspective as far as what's going on. So that's what I'm going to be doing first. So let's see what's happening with her in her day-to-day situation. So yeah. Interesting energies with this groupie. Very fascinating. So that's definitely something going on as far as like her energy. I'm gonna look further into it, but I'm trying to get like the header energies first. So someone is definitely being a groupie is what I'm seeing. Not just that, I'm seeing Selena sort of like trying to take advice as far as business goes. You know what I mean? Stepping out of her comfort zone. This is definitely interesting. This Ten of Cups speaks of happiness. Let's look further. There's no real set situation with this reading. It's not a paid reading or anything like that. So I'm going to just take my time and look into the energies. I'm not going to really like get so deep into it. But let's just see if things become deep. Okay, this Queen of Cups. So it's interesting. What this groupie energy is giving off to me is that like someone is definitely observing her. You know what I mean? It's almost like an energy of stalking, obsessing. You know what I mean? I know that says obsession, but someone is obsessing over her. It's interesting because because you see there's two females here. So I'm getting a vibe that it regards two people. I'm getting someone is like obsessing over her and that she's obsessing over someone else, which is interesting. You know, this whole situation, this Knight of Pentacles, it's all about trying to like plan for business. This is very strategic energy. Not just that, this is an energy of advice. You know what I mean? There's definitely people behind the scenes advising her to get into like business situations that she's not comfortable with. But it's like she sees the money, she sees the prospects. So you see this horse, she's like, yo, I'm ready to take the plunge. You know, it's interesting because at this moment in time, she's definitely stepping out of her comfort zone. She's definitely trying to put herself out there more. And it's going to be bringing her some happiness. You know what I mean? Not just that, this Queen of Cups is giving me the energy of love. So I'm definitely seeing a love situation. But I'm curious though, like what's going on with this groupie energy? What else can I see as far as that groupie energy is concerned? Like what is happening with that? So let's see what's going on with this groupie energy. The Tower. This is some deep ass energy, guys. You know what I mean? Because the Tower is never a good situation, right? This is deep. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny because readers always do like readings as far as like how she feels about Justin and vice versa. And it's interesting because like I don't necessarily care about their relationship. You know what I mean? I just thought like readers were just doing it because that's what the fans wanted to see. But as I'm actually getting into the energies myself, I'm actually picking up that it's like they can't let the situation go. You know what I mean? It's like a definite obsession going on. Sorry if my fingers are dry. It's peeling like my like the skin and shit. So if it looks nasty, that's what that's about. My apology. You know, like I can't like have my hands all moisturized when I'm like shuffling because it damaged like the cards and shit, so like it has to be dry. but then like bad things like that starts to happen. I don't know why it's not focusing. I guess it's a lot happening. But also, if you would like to have a reading, how to go about that will be in the description box. Also, there go my email for you guys right there. So it's perfect. But yeah, it's like they can't let this situation go. It's a ticking time bomb is what I'm getting. This is definitely a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. Let me look further into this energy. It's very fascinating. Because it's like they're both checking each other out as far as Justin and Selena. You see what I mean? With this like being trapped in their heads, trapped in their minds, not being able to let things go. This is giving a deeper perspective, right? This is an energy of shoulda, coulda, like sort of energy, right? You see how this female is like escaping, or like she's falling basically? And this masculine hand is kind of just like, oh shit, let me grab you. This is very deep. Justin's kind of just like, damn, I shouldn't have let her go. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've done readings as far as like Hailey Bieber and Justin go, and their situation's really cold. It's really not love in that situation. So for Justin, he's going through a lot in his life. Obviously, I've done readings, so I know, like, and it's the obvious. But it's kind of just like when things like this happen, like when you're going through stress and you're not happy with your current love situation, you know, people tend to think of the past, and that's what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like he's stalking her. You know what I mean? He's lusting after her. You know what I mean? Not just that. It's interesting because this is giving me a lot of energy, right? So it's like, yeah, Justin is checking out Selena, right? But I'm getting an energy intuitively that it's like Selena is also checking out Hailey. She's kind of just like, what is Hailey doing? Excuse me, let me have a glass of water. And again, this isn't like a paid reading, so I'm just taking my time. I'm not like trying to like get into it all heavy. So yeah, like my like paid readings and shit, it's definitely like more fluid and direct. But like I don't really have like any reason to like do it like that with this particular reading. But yeah, it's like I'm getting a crazy ass vibe that it's kind of just like Selena is kind of just like stalking sort of just like what Hailey's doing. Hailey is like obsessing over what Selena is doing. You know what I mean? It's a shallow sort of like immature energy that I'm picking up. You know, it's kind of like an energy of a love triangle. And what's causing this is kind of just like Justin sort of just like regrets. You know what I mean? You see the imagery, right? It's all about the imagery with these decks. You know, that's why I got these decks, because like the imagery definitely shows what's going on. So it's very interesting, but this is a toxic situation. You see with this propane and this tower, you know, not just that, it's kind of like their minds are cloudy. You see how like there's clouds, you know? So it's kind of, and it's like storm clouds too at that. So it's like a lot of this comes from fighting is what I'm seeing. It's kind of just like Justin gets into fights with like Hailey, so then he starts thinking of Selena. You know what I mean? Then it's kind of just like, since there's like energy exchanges and shit, it's kind of just like Selena feels that energy. You know what I mean? Then she's kind of just like, yo, like what's going on with like Justin? What's going on with Hailey? You know what I mean? Not just that. Then it makes Hailey feel a particular way. Very interesting. Let's see what's going on with this business situation. So I'm pretty much done with this slot. So let's see what's going on with this slot. What's going on with this business situation? Because it's showing me that Selena is trying to step out her comfort zone. She's trying to get involved in things she's not necessarily comfortable with. You know what I mean? So let's see what's going on basically. What can we see regarding that situation? You know, because this kind of looks like it's an interesting scene, right? Because this looks like a bad guy, like a bad figure trying to advise her. You know what I mean? And it's interesting, right? because I'm picking up some energies. It's kind of just like, again, I don't know how like her management works and all of that, you know, because like when, you know, like you're a celebrity, there's like multiple things going on, you know what I mean? You know, because these celebrities, they're kind of like property, you know what I mean? I know that they're people, but they're kind of like forms of like a commodity. So what I'm seeing is that whoever Selena's people are behind the scenes are trying to get her to like do different things to make more money, but I'm seeing that they're kind of like stealing money from her behind her back. You see, so it's kind of just like they're telling her like, yo, you know, you could be making all this money. Meanwhile, like as far as like the contracts and all of that, they're taking the substantial amount of money, you know, and she's kind of just happy to be getting some money is what I'm seeing. So it's kind of just like, I don't know, I'm getting the vibe like she's desperate for money. You know, it's very interesting. Or at least like she would want more. Well, I'm getting a vibe of desperation. She's kind of just like, yo, if I can receive more money, like I don't care. You know, like when you're just happy to receive something, but you're not paying attention to like the important details. This Chariot is definitely going to cause movement in her life. It's definitely causing movement. Not just that, this is going to bring forth an energy of maturity. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, this is business. This is what it is. You know what I mean? We know like the manager and management and all sorts of people, they get a substantial amount of the cut, you know, but she's just happy for the movement. This is interesting. She's been dealing with stagnation as far as her money. So it's kind of just like she just wants the movement. That's why she's not tripping. You know what I mean? She's looking towards the future. You see this lady's head, her face is looking towards the future. You know what I mean? Not just that. It's kind of just like, I know this might seem like a stretch to you guys, but you guys know I'm not kind of like extra, you know what I mean, with my readings. I say what like I feel as far as the energy goes. It's an energy of sort of like jealousy. I'm definitely picking up an energy of jealousy, and it has to do with Hailey Bieber, right? You see how this female is looking like away? Because this was basically the Justin, Selena, Hailey side of things. You know what I mean? But it's kind of just like, she's like, yo, I don't want to focus on that. I want to do my own situation. Because what was I telling you? It was an energy of like stalking, you know what I mean? Of obsessing. So it's kind of just like, she's busy looking at Hailey's opportunities that she wants her own opportunities. That's what I'm definitely seeing. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. She's definitely going to be receiving some money. You know what I mean? She's going to be happy about that. It's definitely going to help her as far as her career. And things are going to come full circle. So I'm not seeing anything like bad or anything like that. It's just the reality of the situation. Let's look at this happiness. You see, this lady is also facing happiness. So let's look into this happiness and see what's going on with this happiness. All right. These are a lot of cards. They're definitely relevant as far as the energy is concerned. But how I do this when this thing sort of like happens is I pull from the top of the pile and the last card of the pile. So it's interesting, right? Because I'm getting an energy of not being content. Because it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? This is an energy of happiness. You know what I mean? This is an energy of kind of like being content with your life. But with this Two of Swords in reverse, this is giving me an energy of depression. This is giving me an energy of sadness. Not just that, her emotions get the best of her. So it's kind of like, it would be different if the card was upright, right? Because it would still mean like indecision, you know what I mean? But it would be like she's on top of her emotions, you see, because like her foot would be in the place of the emotion. But the fact that the water is taking the prominent role is showing me, it's kind of just like, this is an energy of depression. This is an energy of sadness. This is an energy of mood swings. You know what I mean? Not just that. I also see the moon here. The moon like amplifies how you feel as far as your emotions. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing someone that struggles with happiness. I'm definitely seeing that. It's kind of just like she does have a lot of things going for her, and she gets like really like happy about that. But then this sort of situation happens because we know that the swords relates to the mind. You know what I mean? So it's not looking too good. Not just that. This is interesting, right? Whenever you guys see the Page of Wands, I mean, you know, like readers, they have their own situations, so I'm not like trying to like direct anyone, but this is just like my situation. When I see the Page of Wands, it represents the body, right? So whenever the Page of Wands pops up in my readings, it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, the energies like mean different things depending on like the reading and the energy, right? But for me, it usually always represents the actual human body, like your physical body. This is showing me someone that doesn't have good health, and it is what it is, you know what I mean? So this is definitely interesting energies that I'm picking up, because it's kind of just like, yeah, she have a lot of things to be happy for, but she gets caught up in her mind, her emotions get the best of her. Not just that, her health isn't looking too well. You see this desert? So I mean, it's kind of tough energies. I'm definitely picking up tough energies. Because it's just like, yeah, this money situation, like moving forward, these like projects that she's getting involved in is bringing her a form of happiness. But at the same time, she's dealing with some real life situations. It is what it is. Let's look at this Queen of Cups, because she definitely wants to extend some love out. So let's see what's going on as far as that. Ooh, lock and key. So this love that she's like trying to give out is under wraps. And this is interesting, right? Because I don't Google like the celebrities before I do the reading, so I don't know like who she's with or if she's with anyone. But I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I'm picking up some Justin energy. Not just that, I'm picking up 3 other guys. Believe it or not. So it's interesting. I'm definitely seeing 3 other guys. So it's like I'm picking up Justin, and I'm picking up 3 other dudes. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like she has to keep things a secret, right? Because it's like the Queen of Cups is all about extending love, right? Romance, you know, nurturing and shit like that, you know? But it's like she has to keep things a secret. You know what I mean? She definitely has to keep things a secret, because if she doesn't, it's going to create burdens. Very interesting. Let me look deeper into that energy. I find that very fascinating. Very fascinating, actually. All right. This Judgment. She doesn't want people judging her. She definitely doesn't want people judging her. Not just that, it has to do with her well-being. It definitely has to do with her well-being. This is showing me a female that doesn't want a lot of stress because it affects her mental health. You know what I mean? This is definitely mental health. Not just that, again, her body. So it's kind of just like she doesn't want the added stress of like her dating life and who she's interested in. She doesn't want that like being out there because she doesn't want people to judge her. Not just that, I gotta keep it real. It's because the situation is like a third party situation. So I'm seeing cheating. So she doesn't want people to judge her. She doesn't want judgment. You know what I mean? Because again, her body is fragile. You see this guy? His body's fragile. So, I mean, it is what it is. So that's the header energies. That's going on with her currently. Now I can look into the whole, how she feels about Justin and all of that. So let me put the cards back. And let's see what else is happening. Guys, definitely tell me if this was interesting to you. You know what I mean? All right. So let me see. How does she feel about Justin? So let's see. How does Selena feel about Justin? What can I see? How does she feel about Justin? Like, all right. The Empress. This is a deep, interesting energy, right? Because you see all the people in the background. You know what I mean? She's kind of just like, yo, Justin, look at me. I'm totally picking up this energy. And I know it's so corny because I feel like this is stupid, right? Because I feel like, I don't know, like the last time they dated, I believe, because I don't follow them, but it was like, was it like 10 years ago or something? So it's kind of just like silly that this is still a thing, you know? But I get everyone's lives are different, but I'm definitely seeing that energy, you know what I mean? She's kind of just like, look, I'm the better choice. You see how like there's different females and dudes here? And what did I tell you in like some of the past readings I did for Justin? That I was picking up an energy that like he hooks up with men and females. And let me just say, because I forgot to say this at the start of reading, this is all allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that because of YouTube. But what was I telling you? That it's kind of just like he hooks up with guys and ladies. But she's just like, yo, look at me. But there is a situation of shame here. I'm definitely picking up an energy of shame. Because for me, yellow represents different things. But I'm picking up an energy of shame. Definitely. Let's see. What else can I see about this situation? So she's just like, look, Justin, I'm an empress. I'm the better option. But it's a situation of it being sort of just like disgraceful, embarrassing. My thing is because like this situation should be like done and dead and over basically. But again, a missed opportunity. She feels like, this is funny. So you see how the energies are mirroring each other? Because earlier in the reading, it was showing me that he felt like it was sort of like a missed opportunity. And that's how she feels about him as well. Because I was telling you, how does she feel about Justin? She feels like, yo, Justin, like, you know, a missed opportunity happened. Not just that. Like, you abandoned me in my time of need. I'm definitely picking that up. Wow, this is some deep energy. Because you see how, like, this female is all wounded and her clothes is all tattered. You know what I mean? She's like, yo, save me. She's like, yo, you didn't save me when I needed you the most. So it's kind of, I mean, this is deep energy. Let me see, how does she feel about, like, what happened to Justin? As far as sort of just, like, you know, have his face being paralyzed. Like, how does she feel about that whole situation? How did Selena Gomez feel about Justin Bieber's face being like partially paralyzed? Let's see. The Star. I mean, this is some deep energy, right? I laugh because it makes me think of the reading that I did for Justin Bieber, right? Remember how I was telling you guys, when it's a mermaid, it's usually not a good situation. And you see this mermaid? How am I going to say this without offending people? But, I mean, from what I'm seeing with the visual and with the energy, right? Selena, she's a bit of a witch. That's what I'm seeing. Guys, definitely watch that reading I did for Justin Bieber. You're so going to get, like, what I'm talking about here. Because it's funny this came up. And some people said that, right? Some people were just like, I wonder, like, is Selena doing, like, witchcraft on Justin and whatnot? You know what I mean? And it's funny that this mermaid pops up, you know? And it's interesting, too. Because this mermaid, she's in both worlds, right? You see how, like, when she's coming out of the water, her legs are, like, turning back to normal. You know what I mean? It's, like, turning into human legs. But you see, like, when her legs is in the water, it's like a fishtail. So what I'm seeing volatile energy. I'm definitely seeing volatile energy. You see how, like, the water is all, like, trippy? So it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm getting an energy of resentment. I'm totally getting an energy of resentment. And I'm totally seeing some sort of, like, karmic situation. You know what I mean? Because we know that when you do particular things, it comes with a price. You see how, like, she's drinking this situation? It's an energy of kind of just, like, you know, she was doing some shady shit. you know, and she definitely paid some sort of price. You know, I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, guys, definitely, like, you know, put 2 and 2 together. This is deep energy. Definitely deep. Let's see, what else can I see about this whole Justin situation as far as, like, his face being paralyzed? Like, how does she feel about that? Like, what else can we see regarding this situation? The Queen of Cups. So, I mean, guys, you see the energy is basically speaking for itself. You know what I mean? You see this Queen of Cups, she's holding this, like, really elaborate sort of cup. This is showing me some sort of deep love. Not just that, all this water, all this emotional energy. You know, so I'm seeing witchcraft. I'm seeing love spells. It is what it is, you know? Like, it is what it is. It's an energy of being trapped. You know, this is an energy of almost like trapping your innocence, you know? Because when you're doing sort of just like love spells and all sorts of like weird ass spells, it's not a good energy. You know, it is what it is. I know some people say it's whatever. You know, I'm not here to judge and tell people what to do, but it is what it is. It's an energy of being trapped. So it's kind of just like Selena's doing all these sort of like weird ass love spells, love potions, and witchcraft and shit. And it's an energy of being trapped. Not just that, but you see how this kid, this baby, is holding a fish? She needs to watch out. She definitely needs to watch out. Because I don't know if she has any kids, but this is showing me an energy of like, her karma could be infertility. So it's kind of just like, you know, when you're doing all these different love spells, because obviously if she's doing this on Justin, you know, this wouldn't be the first guy or the last, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like when you're doing all this weird shit, you know, it comes with a karma, right? And we know that fish usually represents kind of like abundance, right? Fertility. But look at this situation. It's trapped. And it's trapped in this throne. Throne represents power, you know? So it's kind of just like, you know, she's in her element and her power as far as doing this witchcraft shit. But it's affecting her fertility, you know, a cause and effect. So, I mean, that's what's going on as far as, like, her and Justin, you know? Let me see. How does she feel about Haley? Like, what can I see as far as her and the whole Haley situation? Interesting. Guys, this is deep. The card came out sideways. And if you've seen my Kourtney Kardashian wedding sort of like reading I did, what did I tell you about like when there's two, right? When there's two of wands, when there's two of swords, two of pentacles, it means multiple things, right? But one thing it also means is jealousy. It means comparing, right? And this gives us a deeper insight as far as what she's comparing. She's comparing the passion, you know what I mean? Or at least what she perceives as passion. So she's kind of like jealous as far as like Justin being married to Haley, you know what I mean? She's kind of just like, she's feeling a particular way about that passion, you know what I mean? Not just that, I'm picking up some real strong toxic energy. I'm picking up anger. I'm definitely picking up anger with this sort of like red situation. Not just that, she has things she wants to say, because this is like a mic, like when you're in school, you know what I mean? Not just that, because this is The Simpsons and all. But anyway, it's interesting. It's kind of just like what she has to say is really toxic as well, because if you look at this guy's head and where his mouth is, like look at all these hills and mountains. You know what I mean? So that speaks of like challenges, things being tough. So what she has to say is sort of just like, obviously bad things, you know, it is what it is. It's very deep energy. very deep energy. So I'm definitely picking up an energy of jealousy. What else can I see? So what I'm seeing thus far is that she's definitely jealous as far as sort of like the connection Justin has with this lady. But anyway, this card came out sideways, right? And look at what this card is. Death. So we know that sort of like Haley had a situation where she had a heart condition or something and they had to perform a surgery so like she wouldn't die, you know what I mean? I'm not a doctor, so I don't know like how deep it was, you know, but it's interesting because I was picking up all sorts of energies intuitively, right? But I love for the cards to like pop up so you guys see like, okay, this guy isn't just like saying shit, that this is actually what it is. Like, look at this. The fact that this is death is deep. I was telling you that there's a comparing, right? A jealousy. And look at this, death. And it was showing that Selena, you know, she's basically into the arts. You know what I mean? She's into witchcraft. You know what I mean? And you know what I say in my readings all the time. When the cards come out sideways, it means things aren't right. It's not legit. The energies are shady. So this is a shady death energy. You know what I mean? I gotta pretty much say it. It's kind of just like, for one, she wants Justin and Haley's situation to come to an end, obviously, because that's what death means. Not just that, this is like a real life death as well, like a physical death. So I'm seeing Selena as like being a vindictive, sort of just like jealous character. Not just that, she's kind of possessive over Justin, and it's deep, right? Because I got like a download, an intuitive download, and it's kind of just like when the download was, when you're doing love spells on people, it can backfire on you. So it's kind of just like, it was a point where she wasn't tripping off Justin that bad, right? But it's kind of just like she did the love spell anyway, even though like it wasn't that serious. And what ended up happening is it made her crazy. Now I see why readers are always doing sort of like readings on Selena and Justin, because I always thought it was stupid and they did it for like, you know, views, you know what I mean, basically. But what I'm seeing is this is a real deep situation, this Justin and Selena Gomez situation. Guys, definitely tell me what you thought of this situation, for sure. Also, definitely press the thumbs up button if you made it this far. It's much appreciated. And if you would like to have a reading with me, or if you would like me to cover a celebrity for you, how to go about that will be in the description box. Also, there is my email, so you can contact me there. That's in the description box as well. But anyway, if you have like anything you want to tell me or ask as far as my readings, definitely, you know, message me. Yeah, peace and abundance.